Hey YouTube, it's the Test Lead, and today's video is the tech mindset, prioritizing your development versus money versus stability. So here's the situation. Whether you're new into the tech field, 5 years into the tech field, or 10 plus years into the tech field, certain questions are reoccurring throughout your journey. Should I be prioritizing my development right now? Should I be prioritizing my money right now? Or should I be prioritizing my stability right now? This video will cover when it might be best to chase your growth, when it might be best to chase the money, and when it might be best to just chase stability. Chasing development. When is the best time to focus on developing in your career? First off, you should never stop wanting to learn in the tech field because the tech field is always changing, so always want to learn. However, when you're first starting out in the tech field, is when your growth should be your biggest priority. Try to find a job where you can get a mentor that can teach you the core principles for your role. Having a mentor can help expedite your learning process. After you have the core principles down, you should try to become a sponge and soak in as much knowledge from the people you are working with. For some people first starting out, a startup company might also be a good role for them. It is common in startup roles to wear multiple hats, meaning to have multiple obligations and tasks for your role. Whereas in traditional companies, your role is just do X, Y, and Z. And a startup might be do X, Y, and Z and learn about F and C. So why not chase money right now when you're first starting out? The money will come tenfold once you have marketable skills. Some companies may offer you a higher starting pay compared to a role that you can learn more in, but the role may be very limited. This will limit your future earnings and may force you to have to stay in that company because you don't have marketable skills that a higher paying job will want later on. Whereas the lower paying job developed you and gave you a skill set and experience for a later higher paying job. So why not chase stability right now? There's a good chance your first job in the field will not be your last. One main reason for this is when you're first starting out and trying to get a job, your lack of experience limits your job options. So usually you have to just take what you can get, but the key part is to get your foot in the door. You will see as your experience grows and your skill set grows, your options for future jobs will grow exponentially. So you don't want to just limit yourself to that first job that took you. No, there's tons of possibilities out there once you have a fully developed skill set. Next, chasing money. At what point should you chase the highest checks? This is usually best in the middle of your career. Hopefully by the middle of your career, you've built up a nice safety net, like 6 months of all your expenses stashed away, so you're not able to take more riskier jobs. Depending on your age and if you have any dependents, this stage might also be a little different. But we're talking generally speaking, in the middle of your career, having that savings or safety net is very important. As I said previously, the more skills you have, the more marketable you are, and the more people will pay you. So hopefully you did the first part right and focus on your development, and now you have tons of marketable skills. Also, it's important to have that safety net because some higher paying jobs aren't stable at all. That company might be brand new, they might be around in 2 or 3 years, so you might be out of a job soon. So having that safety net and not being stressed out in case that happens is very important. To maximize your earning potential in the tech field, certain people switch jobs every 2 to 3 years. This is often because many jobs focus on talent acquisition and recruiting talent, but not keeping their talent. So many companies have great sign-on bonuses and things like that, but then their yearly raises aren't as good as the sign-on bonuses. So you may get a 5% raise, but starting at a new company, maybe like a 10 or 20% salary jump for you. And yes, salaries do jump like that in the tech field. Plus, when applying to a new job, you have your old job as leverage to say, hey, this is what my current employer is offering me. What can you do better? What incentives or financially can you do better to make me want to come to your company instead? So why not chase stability at this point in your life? As stated previously, you should have built up a safety net of at least 6 months of expenses so you are stable, you just aren't prioritizing it. Also, some of the higher paying jobs are in new companies that haven't been around long enough to be stable as a company. But these companies often offer more higher salaries than traditional jobs to attract people to take that risk. But be very careful for lifestyle creep. If your lifestyle keeps increasing as your salary increases, this forces you to stay in riskier companies even later in your career, which can become very stressful. This is often called the golden handcuffs in the tech field. So why not prioritize development right now? As I stated in the beginning, you will always be learning throughout your journey in the tech field. But at this point, you have the core fundamentals for your role, you have other valuable skill sets, so you have to maximize the money you can get for your skill set at this current moment. You could then have companies bid against each other to see who values your skill set more to get a higher salary. This is why it's so important to not focus on the money in the beginning and focus on building your skill set. Finally, chasing stability. So when's the best time to prioritize stability in your journey? Stability often comes with a low-stress job, so this is often for later on in your career. Stability focus is usually in the latter part of your career. You may have dependents, you may be a little older, but people often get to this part of their journey at different times. By this point, you should have more than enough money saved from your money chasing days, and you still have valuable skills to offer the market, but maybe as a senior role with day-to-day less excitement. At this point in their journeys, people often have a family and prioritize spending more time with their family and their children instead of more late hours in the office. Often trying to balance the stress from a very demanding job as well as with growing up and raising a family becomes too overwhelming, so people at this point just choose to focus on their family. They still have the money from their money chasing days and they still have valuable skills, so a job's gonna place them in a senior role, so everything just blends together. And most importantly, at this point in their lives, they might finally realize that money isn't everything, but seeing the smiles on their families is priceless. So why not prioritize development at this point in your career? At this point, your skill set should be solid enough that it can carry you for the rest of your working career. As always, you still try to learn a little bit on the side just to stay relevant. At this point, you may actually be helping junior people develop into their roles, so it kind of comes full circle. So why not chase money right now? As I said previously, at this point in life you realize that money doesn't buy happiness, and money isn't everything. As long as you were responsible with your money in a money chasing phase and you're cautious of lifestyle creep, then money shouldn't be a factor right now. You should have more than enough money to carry you for the rest of your life. Having a low stress job as you get older helps you stay calm in the field, but more importantly, you make time for the other things in your life that have high importance, which might be your family. If you found this video helpful at all, please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to see more videos like this, please click here. And hey, don't forget to learn something new today.